Hi guys, gals and non-binary pals, welcome back to Budget with Ira. If you're new here, welcome. I genuinely appreciate if you subscribe to the channel, it really helps the channel grow. If you've recently subscribed and you're returning, thank you so much. I appreciate every single view that you give me. I really appreciate it, thank you so much. So normally this channel is about our bootleg budget, where I share my monthly budget and we check in every week to see how I'm doing against my goals. A big part of my goals is paying off debt. So today's video is my debt confession. Now I'm not really scared to show you my debt confession because it's a reality of the world that I live in and I need to make a difference with it. So if anything, it'll give me a little bit of accountability, to be honest. But if this is something that interests you and you'd like to see quite how much debt I'm in, please keep on watching. Okay, so what I'm going to do first, I'm going to lay this out nicely so I can explain it to you properly. Okay, so we're here starting with the very first debt. So the first debt for us, and this is in no particular order as well, the first debt for us is our credit card. So we took out the credit card a couple of years ago in order to build our credit, but we've managed to ruin our credit with it basically. We've been at the maximum balance for it for a very, very long time. And we've actually paid the credit card off twice as well. We just have kept on making bad financial choices that have left us in a place where we now still owe the maximum amount. We're now in a race to cut it down, clear it. We still plan to use it and still plan to have it because we think having a credit card is a good thing, but as long as we are paying it off every single month. So the balance right now is $3,984.62. Now the place we're in with that is the minimum payment is about £110 a month, and then the interest that comes out is about £70 a month. So the only headway we're making each month is about £30, which is not a great place to be because we're spending £100 to only get £30 of benefit from it. So what we need to do is accelerate the way that we're paying off our debt. If you go to my previous video, which is linked in the card, I shared my plan for how we're going to cut through this, which is essentially we're just going to always budget at least £900 a month to go to all of our debt. So the interest rate is 25.7%. Also last month what happened as well is we got our annual charge, which is £24. So we paid £107 and we have £8 available on our credit card, so it's not great. So if anything, we're more galvanised to get this debt cleared. We have an estimated payoff date of April 2022. That's exactly a year from today. In order to do that, we need to have a snowball amount of 332, which I believe we can achieve. So this month we've managed to pay off 323 so far, so we need to find about £9 from somewhere to chuck into it, but we absolutely will. Okay, moving on, our next debt is our store card. Now this store card is for, I guess it's for a department store in the UK that's been open throughout the pandemic. We've sort of used it as an emergency card. It's been really, really handy buying things that are an absolute emergency. So our current amount we owe is £1,232.94. The minimum payment on this is around £35 a month, and the interest is about £35 a month, to be honest. So as long as we pay the minimum payment, we will always owe around about this figure, which I'm quite happy with because that allows us to focus on our credit card. We know that once we've cleared the credit card, and then once we've got a £500 emergency fund, our store card is our next one to tackle. So the interest rate on this one is very high. So knowing that by the time we've finished paying off this credit card, this store card will look almost exactly the same at April 2022. Our snowball of 332 plus the 35 odd pounds that we pay gives us a snowball of £367, which means that we'd pay this one off by August 2022, which seems pretty reasonable. It looks like we'll pay that off in about 3 months. Our next debt is my overdraft, so we'll call that overdraft 1. Now I've lived in this overdraft for like 10 years. I've had it since I was a student. It has been absolutely ginormous. It's been nearly £4,000 at one time, and I've paid it all off. I got a bit of fatigue while I was paying it off about 10 years ago, and I just stopped paying it off, and the bank quite satisfied for me to live in a £1,000 overdraft. So it doesn't really bother me. I get about £10 in charges from it every month, which I'm quite happy to pay. It's just a bit depressing when you get paid about £2,000 and then your statement shows that you've got £1,000 in your account, and every single month you're using borrowed money. So I do want to break that habit, and that would be the habit that we break after we paid off the store card. So I owe on my overdraft £1,000 exactly. So the plan is to still have the overdraft, but just not use it, and just have it there for emergencies if I absolutely needed it to. Obviously there'll be an emergency fund in place at that point as well, so I shouldn't need it at all, but at least I'll know that it's there. So the interest is so nominal that it's not worth mentioning. And then once the store card is paid off in August 2022, we will still have the same snowball amount, because I don't attribute an amount other than about £10 to the overdraft every month. So with the snowball of £367, that will be paid off in November 2022. Then the next debt is overdraft 2, which is my boyfriend's overdraft. So when I met him, he had an overdraft of about £750, and we quite recently actually paid off about £250 of that, and then capped his overdraft smaller. His bank account does some weird stuff where it allows him to spend over his overdraft, so we were starting to get into a bit of trouble with it, so it wasn't cool. So we reduced his overdraft to £500 and sort of at a £200 loss, £250 loss. But now we're still in that place. So his overdraft is £500. Again, interest, he doesn't even get charges because it's planned overdraft. So I think it's just a perk of his bank account. So it just doesn't make a difference to him. And at that point, the snowball will still be £367. So we will basically pay that off sort of mid-December to January. So I'm just gonna put December 2022. So hopefully by Christmas next year, we'd have paid off credit card, store card, overdraft 1 and overdraft 2. But wait, there's more. We also took out a personal loan. I can't remember when, but I'll put it on the screen. That was originally £7,500, and we actually took out that loan to pay off the credit card and pay off a holiday. So that worked really well. So it was £7,500 and £200.92 comes out of my account every single month. So now we've got that down to £2,968.76. The interest rate on that is 6.9%. This is going to get paid off whether I want it to or not. It automatically comes out of my bank account every single month, so it's just going to come out. I can make additional payments if I want to, but there's a settling fee on it. So we've already, I've already paid off the interest on it. I'm just paying off the capital now. So I just need to let it run its course, really. So at its current rate, I think it's about 15 months left until I've paid it off, which will have this loan paid off in July 2022. And then the very last one is my student loan. these loans here we've accrued over the last 8 years that we've been together as a couple, and we definitely consider them our debts, but this one is mine. But obviously he's with me now, so he's got to feel the brunt of it. So I originally took out, I think it was about £14,000, and at the time it didn't seem like a lot of money to me at all. We were actually actively encouraged to take out student loans as well, which is really bizarre. If I went back in time, would I have taken out the student loan? Actually, yes, I would, because university was absolutely incredible for me. I built some incredible skills there and met some incredible friends, and it's made me the person that I am today. But do I like having the debt? Absolutely not. So student loan, if you're not from the UK, if you take out a student loan, it comes out of your account and it's a certain percentage of your earnings depending on how much you have earned. So the interest rate is 1.1%, and there's about 4 different plan types that you can have. I'm on plan type 1 because I am old as dust. Plan type 1 basically means that, so they take it out of your payslip before it even hits your account, so you don't necessarily miss it. If I haven't paid it off by the time I'm 65, then it gets written off, which is fantastic. I am going to pay it off by the time I'm 65. So the amount I owe on here is £3,566.73. So how it works is it will always come out of your paycheck before it hits your bank. So I probably pay about £120 a month. So I've worked out that if my last debt payment is in December 2022, at that point I would have paid off about £2,400, which would leave a remaining balance of £1,166.93. Now the student loans company, which is run by the government, they say that once you have got about a year's left of payment on it, you should stop it from coming out of your payslip and start to pay monthly direct debits, which is about the time that I'll start doing that. So from December 2022, I will have amassed a debt snowball of £487, which would mean that with the remaining £1,166, I will have this paid off by March 2023. So by March 2023, we should pay off the total of our debt, which is £13,253.5. I know a lot of people that are mine and my boyfriend's age that have a lot more debt than this. And I understand that this, to some people, will sound like a horrific amount of debt, but considering that we've got a plan and we know that what we're gonna do, I'm pretty comfortable with it. Okay guys, girls and non-binary pals, thank you so much for watching this video. If you want to see how I cut my debt down each month, please consider subscribing to the channel, because I will post a debt update every single month along with my budget. Until next time, bye!